What's good, y'all? I'm gonna turn on my camera real quickly. What's up, y'all? I'm probably gonna give you guys my 5 week breakdown. Well, fuck it. I'm just gonna give you guys my picks for this weekend because you got a couple fights, but not really fights that we always wanted. Just a bunch of moderately fair fights. And I fucking hate saying that. You know what I mean? I want to see like the top guys fight each other, but it's not happening. You know what I mean? So, uh, least we could do for right now is kind of expect more fights like from the freaking medium level fighters. And I'm not saying like medium level fighters like they're bad or anything like that, but they're just like decent level fights, you know what I mean? So uh let's get to it, man. You got Parker Chisora, man. I got Parker by split decision. I don't know why, man. I just get the feeling that Parker is gonna squeak out a split decision, man. Like it's gonna be like one of those close fights, and uh, a lot of people think he boxed all right and like he was the better boxer, but Chisora was landing more punches and he was more active in the fight. Like I could actually see it being that type of affair and shit like that. You know what I mean? So I'm picking Joseph Parker by split decision. Not too confident about it because like Chisora could end up, you know what I mean, like doing what he did to Carlos Tekken, but I don't really think that he could do that because I think Joseph Parker can take a punch. Like I've seen him take punches from. I know he didn't get hit that much in the Anthony Joshua fight, but he also took some clean shots from Dillian White. So uh, guy could take a punch, and I really think that he could take a punch definitely from a Derek Chisora. So he's younger than Carlos Takam, so those three like fought each other. You know what I mean? Like in a little try tournament whatsoever, but uh Chisora is going to fight Joseph Parker, so it's about to close that triangle. You know what I mean? So I think Joseph Parker is just going to win like a decision. So nothing too crazy about it. I don't really expect nothing to come out of it. Like a fight of the year or anything like that. At best, you might see a knockdown, but it could end up being from Joseph Parker. Because I think Joseph Parker has sneaky very sneaky power. Like it happens like at certain times of the fight, if he catches you clean and stuff. So guy weighs like beyond 200 pounds, so like you can't really X out any heavyweight that is over that 200-pound limit, Isn't that obvious? Like we've been seeing that for the past generations and stuff. So I think Joseph Parker should win a split decision, as I was saying. And you got Andy Ruiz versus Chris Arreola. So, I mean, it's an obvious pick. I see it ending in 3 rounds, Chris Arreola is like, man, I think he's washed up. And it's not, I think, let me take that back. I think he is washed up. He's ancient. And this is a big paycheck, man. I think this is going to be his last fight. And Andy Ruiz, I think, is going to look good, like maybe a little bit drained because, like, I could see him losing a lot of weight. I see him losing a lot of weight in this camp, like he's been looking a lot slimmer. It might have a little bit of an effect, but I think Andy is just going to do the job real quickly, like he's not just going to waste any more time and just take Arreola out of there, you know what I mean? Because that guy really doesn't deserve to be in there with Andy Ruiz, if I'm being honest. He got knocked out by Wilder. He got knocked out by Vitali a long time ago before any of those fights. And he had some close fights with Konachki. I mean, this guy really isn't that part of his peak right now, I mean, the least you could expect is him landing some good shots, making it fun while it lasts, like a good round of the year type of deal. But eventually Andy's just going to touch him and then he's just going to crumble. That's what I think is going to happen. So I got Andy Ruiz by like 3 rounds. I would say 3 rounds. Forgot what I put in the predictions league because I know that in the predictions league I put somewhere inside 5 rounds. So Uh, and he should be able to handily take this fight. And I'm looking forward to seeing who he fights after this, man. You know what I mean? Like, if he's gonna fight a top five guy, I mean, this guy called Ariola a freaking top five contender, man. That was funny to me. And I don't know, man. That's just what it is. But shout out to Jalik, the leader. We grinding. We grinding. Heck yeah, man. I just came back from the gym. I forgot to say, I was doing arms today, man. I don't know, like, if you can see. Man, I'm got a bony ass wrist, don't I? Got some. Could only show my forearm right now because I'm in my car. But hey, it is what it is. But not too many fights, man, happening on this Saturday, you know? So uh, you only got like prospects fighting. I mean, there's some good prospects out there, man. Like, I mean, Jaron Ennis, but he already fought like this past month, I think. And Virgil Ortiz, I think, was last month. You waiting for the? Oh, they're coming, man. Oh, they are coming. They are coming. Trust me. Oh man. You know what's funny, man? Like, I got this phone, and as soon as I was doing like a video on it, I went to like 12 minutes, and this is a brand new phone, and it already wasted like freaking all of my memory and shit. So like, I gotta find myself a camera and everything. So might as well do the workouts on a live stream. You know what I mean? Show my workouts at the gym, show my workouts maybe at the house. So we'll see what happens right there. But not too much happening, man. I mean, like, you got the YouTuber. I don't know why people are hating on Jake Paul, man. Jake Paul is funny as hell. He's like, let me tell you something about Jake Paul and all of you boxing fans that are pissed off at him and stuff. This guy is basically doing y'all a favor with some of y'all. I know some of y'all beef with like MMA fans and all that. You really know that you should know that Jake Paul is actually backing your statements. You know what I mean? Like, when you say that MMA fighters can't transition into boxing, you know, Jake Paul is the perfect example. You know, like, he makes sure that that's the truth, you know, because this guy only came in like in 2020, early 2020, and he started boxing, and he's already taking out these MMA guys, and these MMA guys don't even want to take him in the boxing ring. They're like, no, let's get him in the octagon. No, let's get him over here, man. No boxing, no boxing. Even though that some of them actually got boxing backgrounds, man. What the fuck does that shit mean? You know what I mean? Like, if you got MMA fighters that are known strikers not wanting to fight Jake Paul in the ring for a lot of money, man, I mean, can you imagine that? You know, that actually backs some of y'all's statements. So, yeah, pretty much. Like, when you think about it, Jake Paul, great for boxing. Yeah, absolutely, man, absolutely. And the reason why I say that is because I'm not too big on the fights, you know, like the spectacles and all that, like MMA fighters doing that, all that other type of stuff. But it really should push like the fighters that we have right now at the top level, and see how like YouTubers are basically taking food off their table when you think about that. Because it's been happening for a long time. Like, a lot of boxers are enabling this, and I know, Jalik, you've actually touched up on enabling in boxing, you know, because like enabling is a bad habit that's been happening for many years, you know, beyond like promoters, beyond the fighters, entities, even the sanctioning bodies, man, you know, because like enabling like is a bad habit, you know, like we haven't gotten over that, you know, like there's even fighters like praising all this type of stuff, you know, instead of just like actually pushing these fights, you know, actually putting themselves out there and everything. So it's a shame, you know what I mean? So hopefully Jake Paul actually gets some of these MMA fighters, man, in there, and then like the boxers actually see like the type of money that he's getting, you know, because he has the platform, you know what I mean? So they're actually letting him take the money that they deserve, you know what I mean? And that's why we're not getting Crawford Spence. We're not getting none of that, man. Regardless of what side you want to side with, or whether you want to call it down the middle, we're just not getting it. That's just what it is, you know? So Jake Paul, man, I hope he continues to beat the shit out of these MMA these MMA fighters in the ring, you know. I mean, if he goes to the octagon, that's all cool and dandy, but it's funny because like I used to argue with like a lot of MMA fans back in the day about transitions into boxing and stuff. And the fact that Jake Paul is having success against some one of their guys, you know what I mean, transitioning, that shit is funny as hell. And now like the guys don't even want to face him in the boxing ring, even the ones that are known strikers, because I know Ben Askren ain't no striker like that. He's actually just a wrestler. I know that. But when you got guys like Daniel Cormier, the former heavyweight champion of the UFC and MMA, saying like, "Oh, face me in the octagon, face me in the octagon, not in the ring, not in the ring." That's crazy, you know what I mean? Because I think Daniel Cormier has that background enough to beat Jake Paul, you know what I mean? So that's a shame, though. And it's funny because it backs everything that I've said many years ago when I used to go back and forth with some of them. And not all MMA fans are bad like that, because I know some real cool MMA fans, but the ones that are like insistent that one of them will actually transition into boxing and actually have success. Because like when you look at it this way, MMA fans really think that as soon as you just learn how to punch, that's basically your success into transitioning into boxing, when it's really just about fundamentals. You gotta understand footwork. Some of it actually takes you to be takes many years actually, you know, like as soon as you're a kid, that's how crazy it is, you know. And it's a rarity that boxers like at an old age are able to learn the art and then actually have success. That's why you have anomalies, man, like Bernard Hopkins. You have anomalies like Sergio Martinez. That's why you have anomalies like that, you know what I mean? So it's crazy, man, like, you know, that Jake Paul is actually a testament. It's crazy that I'm using these philosophical terms, but he's a testament to what everybody has been saying for many years, you know. So salute to Jake Paul, man. It's as crazy as that sounds, but hey, y'all boxers, y'all promoters, man, are enabling this, you know what I mean? So shake my head, you know what I mean? Shake my fucking head. Oh man, it's about to. I don't know if y'all been getting any tornado warnings across Texas, because it looks like we're gonna have a thunderstorm all day. And man, if I have to go out somewhere, man, I'm not gonna go out. You know what I mean? Because I think there's gonna be a tornado warning, hail. If that happens, I'm going back to my place. Fuck that. I don't want that smoke, man, because I didn't want that smoke with the snow. Y'all got me there, but not no damn tornado, bro. Fuck that. Fuck that. But hey, it is what it is. It is what it is. Hey, what you been up to, Jalik? I mean, have you been on these streams lately? You know, like been doing podcasts and all that other stuff, chilling. But a lot of other fights should be happening right now, like Crawford Spence. I mean, you have like Crawford dealing with like a lot of issues, you know, like the Pacquiao fight falling out. And then like you got other issues such as the Wilder Fury saga and the Joshua saga too. Y'all really got to stop listening to guys that say, my sources say, my sources say, my sources say. I've been hearing that for the past like 3 years. Not even 3 years, like 5 years, you know, since I paid attention to the political landscape of boxing. Because I used to not be privy to that, you know. And I've been part of the sport for like, what, since 2010, you know, since I stepped into a gym. And the politics, man, they're crazy, you know, like a lot of people argue over it. Some people want to hurt others over that type of stuff. And it's a shame, you know what I mean? But hey, chilling, bro. I'm looking forward to Taylor Ramirez. Absolutely, man. Absolutely. Whew, man. Undisputed. Undisputed. You know, I think that's a legit 50-50 fight, man. I haven't had that type of thrill, you know, like since the WBSS finals, you know, like I want them type of fights to happen again, you know, like I'm sick of these fights where it's a 70-30, you know, or like you think, oh, it's a good opponent and all that, but we already know who's going to win at the end of the day. You know what I mean? Like, I don't even want to say names because it's just going to bring more negativity and stuff. So I'm sorry, but looks like AJ Fury ain't happening. It's not a surprise to me, you know. Wilder always had like a wild card, you know, like within these negotiations and all this other stuff, you know, because contracts, all of that. Nobody really knows like what's in those contracts, no matter how uh privy they are like to their sources or anything like that. They just don't know, man, what's going on behind the scenes. Like, excuse me, you got terms like arbitration and force majeure, a lot of crazy terms, man, that are being thrown out and stuff. And it's not really a surprise to me that Wilder and AJ ain't happening. You know what I mean? It looks like it's not happening, but that's why I don't really listen to a lot of people like Mike Coppinger, Chris Mannix, and all them other guys that say, my sources say, my sources say. It's the same old tune every year. You know what I mean? Like, it's just to keep us like talking and talking and talking. I noticed that it was a marketing tool a long time ago, and that's when like I don't really put any type of credence into it, you know. And the same thing with Pacquiao Crawford, you know. And I was really looking forward to that fight more than anything else. Heck, I would have taken a freaking Errol Spence versus Manny Pacquiao fight versus rather than a Mikey Garcia fight, you know what I mean? Or even him like fighting an MMA fighter, you know. The winner gonna be a big name at 147, Taylor Ramirez. Even the lower gonna be in good position. Oh yeah, oh yeah. You know, I'm actually trying to figure out like how 147 is gonna look. You know, because I don't see guys like Porter, Thurman, Spence, Crawford being there too long. You know, you're gonna have like the division filled up with Jaron Ennis for a little bit, because I've heard that he's a big guy and like he might not be able to make 147 for too long. And the same with Virgil Ortiz. So it looks like it's probably going to end up filling up with the 140-pound fighters, you know. So we're about to see right there. And then you got Rashidi Ellis in that division too. So maybe he could stir some things up, you know, while those guys like are up in the higher weight classes. So we're going to see what happens right there. Even the lower is going to be in a good position. So like fighters from 140, 135. Well, hopefully, like at 140 pounds, like you got guys like Devin Haney and Teofimo Lopez like moving up to 140 pounds, you know, because I could actually see that happening before anything. And I'm expecting like Shakur Stevenson to actually move up to like 135 pounds like very soon, you know, like as soon as he gets a title shot around here. But as long as he tries to get Oscar Valdez, that's really all that matters to him. Like, being at like 130 pounds, you know, because I don't see Valdez like moving up to 135 unless like it's the right opponent, you know, like Lomachenko or something like that. And same with Shakur, man. You know, Shakur would actually fight Lomachenko at any weight class. So Virgil passed Porter as I heard about that. I actually heard about that. So I'm sure WBO gonna mandate it. You know, at this point, man, like Crawford has to fight somebody, man. Like I just can't take another Mean Machine fight. I can't. No, no more best feudings, man. I don't want to see that. I don't want to see that anymore because it's wasting my time, and I'm pretty sure that it's wasted a lot of Crawford's time throughout his entire 4 years, 5 years with like Top Rank, and it's getting bad. You know, like he's letting these fights slip away. You know, or these fights are whoever's fault it is, man. Crawford's just not getting these fights with the PBC and everything. And those are the necessary fights that he needs. And if not, then why not just fight Virgil Ortiz at this point? Because I used to think, Virgil Ortiz is still green and all that, but at this point, man, like Crawford needs somebody to fight. He really does. I want to see Bud challenge Ortiz or Porter. Yeah, man. Either of those two, man, those are like the final options for him to actually be on this so-called pay-per-view that they're talking about. You know, what was this announcement? You know what I mean? Like that we were supposed to have 2 weeks ago and stuff. That's what I'm expecting. You know what I mean? Like we're supposed to have this big pay-per-view announcement. Who is it going to be with? It would have to be with like Porter or Ortiz. You know what I mean? Because I don't see it with anybody else. Like Crawford can't go up to 154 pounds to fight Charlo because Charlo's already fighting for undisputed against Castaño, which is another great fight too. But He also can't get none of these PBC guys. The only exception that I could see being thrown into this is Keith Thurman. Keith Thurman is the only one that could actually fill in that spot, you know? So think about that. You know what I mean? We got to think about that. Black and Brown Boxing, what's up? What's up? What's up? Chilling, man. Just got back from the gym. I was telling Jalik. Got back from the gym doing arms, getting used to the machines, all of that good stuff. Because I used to be just training at my home for a long time, man. Like, you know, just doing a lot of like prison stuff. Not that I was in prison, but more like I was just doing a lot of calisthenics, a lot of weights, like dumbbells and all that. A lot of creative stuff that I would be doing in the meantime. So if I were to just throw in like the gym and then working out at the same time at my house, that's what I plan on doing, you know, doing 2 workouts at the same time. So Black and Brown, get that 200 ready, bro. Y'all got a bet going on? Taylor Ramirez. Oh shit. Maybe I should bet on I don't bet on 50-50 fights. I only bet on fights that nobody thinks that the underdog will win. Those are like the best ones just to get something out of it for me, at least in my opinion. Like, let's say if I were to bet on before like Jessica McCaskill fought Cecilia Brackes, I would have bet some money on Jessica McCaskill, you know, because I thought that Jessica McCaskill would beat Cecilia Brackes before that first fight, you know, so that's what I thought. Man, that 200 bet, I don't even know if I would like try to think about like what fight I would bet on, you know, for $200, man. Probably Caleb Plant versus Canelo, because I know a lot of y'all hate on Caleb Plant. Some of y'all, I don't know about you, Jalik or Black and Brown, but burpees, full work. Oh yeah, I love burpees, man. I love burpees, especially if you try to do like the pull-ups at the same time, and then like you do a burpee. Oh man, that shit is crazy. And then I got my jump rope and everything, so I'm gonna keep going at it with the jump rope because I haven't done it in a while because of work and all that. So, but yeah, man, like I was thinking about that, like those type of fights with the underdog. Those are the only ones that I would bet on. Like Caleb Plant versus Canelo, that's a good fight, and the underdog is being overlooked. Caleb Plant is being overlooked, in my opinion. So I just think that Canelo's going to struggle with that type of opponent, you know? Devin Haney, too. Devin Haney versus Lomachenko before Lomachenko lost to Teofimo Lopez. That's a fight that I was really, really going to bet on. $200, you know what I mean? And Crawford versus Spence. I used to argue with a lot of Pacquiao fans, like back in 2016. I would be going life and death, not life and death, literally, but, you know, like back and forth, like real badly. Like I was saying stuff like I would bet $100 that Crawford knocks out Pacquiao in the 5th round type of shit, you know? And I still stand on it, you know what I mean? So if y'all want to come at me with that bet, all right, bet, come at it, you know what I mean? So I'm all for it for those certain fights. Crawford Pacquiao, Canelo versus Plant, and Devin Haney versus Lomachenko. I still got that Devin Haney versus Lomachenko fight the same way, ending the same way as he did like before that whole Teofimo Lopez type of deal. So yeah, pretty much. But another fight I would bet on for like 200. I'm trying to think about that, man. Like there's a lot of different ones that a lot of people overlook, and then they get it wrong, and then you're thinking to yourself, fuck, I should have put like 200 on it, you know, like J-Rock versus Jarrett Hurd, all that type of stuff. So, yeah, man, pretty much. But anyways, oh, yeah, got one right here. If Canelo don't knock out Billy Joe Saunders on the zone, and the hidden people may jerk Canelo for a big rematch. I get what you mean. You know, man, it's in Texas, man. You know, like Texas is filled with like a lot of Canelo foundations, you know what I mean? For him to not actually be in that type of situation and stuff. So I'm not sure. And then nobody likes Billy Joe Saunders. You know, even like Eddie Hearn has been leaning towards Canelo a lot. You know, recently he's already talking about fighting Caleb Plant like in what September, December, or something like that. And that's pissing Billy Joe Saunders off. But hey, man, Billy doesn't really do himself any favors with what he does outside the ring. I fucking hate that. I don't really like Billy, man. Let's just say that for what he does outside the ring. And I'm pretty sure that rubs people the wrong way too, you know. So I don't know, man. But I still think that Canelo should edge it, you know what I mean? But I could see Billy giving him some problems and stuff like that. But really, Billy, like, is probably not going to be like in the same place mentally, you know, because he doesn't have that comfortability that he's used to having with certain fights and stuff. Because with Canelo, man, like, Canelo's going to have everything secured. He's going to have those like rematch clauses intact. He's going to have everything. Like, Billy is basically fighting the machine when you think about that. Billy can't really run anywhere. And I don't mean that like in the ring or anything like that, because the only type of running that happens is when you turn your back to somebody. You know what I mean? So Canelo not signed long term to DAZN. He's a free agent. So DAZN not going to make money off Canelo versus Plant or Charlo. Yeah, I heard about that. And I don't know if you guys actually saw that documentary that he sued, or that interview that he actually sued DAZN and Golden Boy, from what I heard. And basically, like, he was doing everything right. And, like, he knew that he really didn't do anything to break contract or anything. So, for right now, I think he is a free agent. So hopefully he does like try to get like some fights at the PBC, because I think those are the ones that are more worthy of a fight than some like on DAZN and stuff like that. Because all he has is Billy Joe Saunders and Demetrius Andre, and the only fight that I want to see on DAZN after Billy Joe Saunders is Demetrius Andre. But that's really about it, unless he's gonna move up to 175 and fight Dimitri Bivol, because I think Dimitri Bivol is on DAZN. So that's what I think. But I think he should just like unify 168 first, and possibly just like I don't want to. I don't know if he's good for like 175 pounds, man. Like, cause 175 pounds, he starts to actually like slow down a little bit, you know, like in his movement and stuff. I know people say that he has a lot of great defense and stuff like that, like the head movement and everything. But the thing is, when I saw that Kovalev fight, he wasn't trying to overexert himself because he knew that he was going to gas out a little bit. You know what I mean? Because like just moving your head is very debilitating, because you're moving a lot of muscle, especially with the mass that Canelo has on his torso and everything, and how massive it is compared to his legs. Like, that shit ain't gonna pan out well, you know, like in the later rounds and stuff, because he could get tired like that, especially against a guy like Beterbiev or Dimitri Bivol, you know, who's a very good boxer, you know what I mean? So it's crazy, man, you know what I mean? So Canelo really has to be careful with what he tries to do at 175 pounds, unless he's gonna stay at 168. And I think there's some competitive fights there, you know, for fighters around his age range and stuff. So hopefully some fights happen this year. I mean, this guy says that he has a lot more leverage to fight 3 times a year. Talking about he fought in February, he fought in May, and then he fought in December. So yeah, pretty much. But anyways, I'm about to log off, take a shower, eat some carbs, proteins, all that good stuff. Eat my 2,000 calorie shake. Probably gonna make a video on that, Jalik, so you might want to stay tuned for that one. So, but anyways, appreciate y'all stopping by. Black and Brown, Jalik the leader, everybody, man, that's gonna watch the playback after, you know. So it is what it is. I'm out, y'all. Peace.